You've just watched Cindy Klose's last newscast here on KWCH. Over the next few minutes, we'll take a look back at her 25 years on Channel 12. You'll learn what brought her here and what kept her around.
And there's a very special surprise ending that even Cindy doesn't know about. So sit back and learn more about the person you've trusted for 25 years.
Here's a check of the latest developments in the Gulf crisis. I'd been working at CNN, commuting from Denver to Atlanta every week. Bob had a job coaching in Denver. I got a job anchoring at CNN Headline News in Atlanta. I did that for 3 years. Got tired of the commute, wanted to stay home. And this was one of the places where I interviewed. One thing I do remember about planning to come to Wichita, the arrangements were made I think on a Thursday, and the Andover tornado happened the next day. And I was scheduled to come to Wichita the week after the Andover tornado. And I'll never forget, I was in Denver watching the CBS Evening News, and there was this story about this tornado in Andover, Kansas, and I said, you know, right outside of Wichita. And I'm like, wow, that's where I'm going next week. And when I came here for my interview, the news director at the time drove me to Andover, and with his press pass, we got through and drove around the mobile home park. And I think he was trying to judge my reaction to what I saw there, see if I had a heart, I think, but I'll never forget it. Then they had me do an audition because I wasn't the only person they were considering for the job. And so I got to meet Roger. He came in on his day off, and we did an audition tape, and they had us talk to each other to see how we interacted, and then we went out to lunch. And then they offered the job. And I liked all the people that I met, and I felt like I was really wanted. So that was a good feeling. I remember driving across Kansas when I finally moved, and my things were being shipped. Bob was staying in Denver, and I drove by myself in my little pink Toyota Corolla. And I told a friend this the other day that the wheat fields were ripe, I guess. But I remember thinking, it's so corny, but I remember thinking, this is what amber waves of grain, this is what they're talking about in the song. I think I got a speeding ticket near Russell, too. So those two things I remember about my first trip to Kansas by myself. There were great expectations. They didn't know what to expect from me, and I didn't know what to expect from the station, and I didn't realize what it meant for them to have to replace Susan Peters, because she was so well known and so well liked. And I didn't realize those expectations coming in. I mean, I never came in expecting to fail. I always expect to be successful, but to hear the history and how the team had built it up to become #1, I didn't want to be the one that had it fall, but for 25 years, we've stayed there. So that feels pretty good.
Cindy's intimidating a little bit. I think you walk in knowing her reputation, and I can still remember her calling when I was out in Dodge City, and she had to do the audio for the intro to my newscast, and she called asking how to pronounce Schwenke so she could introduce the newscast. And I thought that was so cool that Cindy Klose had called just to ask how to pronounce my last name. But yeah, you have one expectation, I think, when you go to meet Cindy, and then very quickly you discover that there's a lot more behind Cindy Klose.
Well, there's a lot I've learned from Cindy. She's brutally honest, and that's a positive thing. I've learned not to sugarcoat things. A lot of times, I think female anchors sometimes are associated with being the mother of a newsroom. And Cindy is not the mother of the newsroom. She's not going to run around and give you a hug and a kiss, bake you cookies. It's not Cindy. Cindy is a leader of the newsroom, and I think that's a huge difference. Everyone can look up to her. I mean, she's not going to baby you. She's going to tell you how it is, and I think a lot of people respect that. I do.
I always remember Cindy is very professional, very prepared, very dedicated to doing the job right, but also someone with a very ribald sense of humor, which most people off screen didn't get to see. I remember when she came home from the hospital with her second child, her husband Bob and I had a margarita machine there waiting for her first adult beverage in many, many months. So Cindy, thanks for 25 great years.
I've been in this business for over 40 years, and you know the people who really put in the extra effort, and Cindy is definitely one of them. For folks who don't get to see what goes on during the commercial breaks, which is anybody outside the building, she's even in the middle of a newscast during those commercial breaks. More often than not, she's on the laptop looking for something new, some of the latest information, which you don't find that everywhere.
I thought I'd be done anchoring by the time I was 30, so we put off having kids. Bob gave up coaching and his job and moved to Wichita, but he didn't come here till, I think, 2 weeks before Michael was born. It happened exactly the way I wanted it. I worked out on Friday morning. I did the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock news, a 7 o'clock headline, and then had the baby at 11. So it's pretty much what I wanted to do. And he's turned out to be perfect. But Bob thinks he looks a little bit like Roger Cornish, so he's a little concerned. I got baby gifts from people I didn't even know. People just embrace me, and still today, I run into people who ask, how old are your kids? And they say, I remember when you were pregnant, I remember when you had your child, or I was in the hospital at the same time when you were having your baby and then saw yours all over the TV. Our other child was up early yesterday, so I figured it'd be last night without any sleep. Oh, are you gonna talk now? Huh? Okay. They loved working in our fair booth, helping me sign autographs. Jordan would always deface my picture and make them look terrible, but they enjoyed that. Sometimes people that you don't want to know you better. And so I always wanted to keep my kids away from that. So I worked under Cindy Klose, and then I had my family life. They were always aware of it, but you know, it was just a job. It wasn't a lifestyle or something, just mom. Life goes so fast, and you're so caught up in your job, and when you have your first kid, you know, you're wanting to reach all those milestones you read about, and you get caught up in that and you don't enjoy it. And next thing you know, they're 20. That's what's hitting me right now. But I lived in Wichita longer than I lived anywhere. I lived in my first house here longer than I lived anywhere. So we made the decision, you know, to stay here in Wichita once we had kids and to raise our kids here because we just thought it was a really good place. It just was America, and I don't know how to describe it. It was just a good place to raise kids, and so we didn't look to go anywhere else. We just stayed. We have breaking news to tell you about at this time, but I don't have a copy of it, so we'll get to that in a minute. Let's do the markets first of all.
It's in schools, and they'll talk about that next month. Back to you.
Okay, we'll check back in. Thanks, Felicia. Evolution and whether it not...
We'll keep an eye on those storms, and we'll update you on them later in the hour.
Okay, thanks, Mark. A Hayesville man had quite a scare this morning. He shot and killed an intruder.
If you know anything about Cindy, you know that she is a huge Shockers fan.
Cindy loves Shocker basketball.
My favorite memory actually happened fairly recently.
The one night the Shockers were playing and she was hollering at the team
and I was in studio doing my story that night, and she had the games up on one of the monitors in here, sort of catching, you know, a sneak peek during commercials.
Her mic came up and you heard her yell.
And then right as we came back on camera for me to finish my story, the Shockers lost the ball or something, and she let out the loudest shriek, and it came out over the air, and it was so funny.
You know, we just could not quit laughing about that because it was so funny. She's trying to watch basketball over top of the camera, deliver the news.
I almost didn't make it through my tag without laughing.
Cindy Klose, how the heck are you? Congratulations on an incredible career and some well-deserved R&R and time on the tennis court. You know, Wichita and Kansas have been so lucky to have you and that ever-changing hair of yours for all these years. I kid about the hair, but seriously, you're a journalist we can all look up to, someone who really cares about the little details and getting to the bottom of things. But more so, you're kind and compassionate, and it comes across to everyone. I remember so vividly 6 years of working with you, you being the voice of calmness and reason behind some pretty chaotic situations. I also remember you being quite the dancer. Well, I kind of remember that, but that's a story for another time and another place. Again, congrats and enjoy the downtime, and if you're ever looking for a good round of golf, come on down to the Valley of the Sun. We'd love to have you. Congratulations, Cindy.
For me personally, Cindy Klose was like a teacher, even though I had already graduated college. My first job out of school at Wichita State was as a reporter at Channel 12 in Wichita. My desk was right next to Cindy's, and I learned something from her every day. She was so good at doing her job. She meticulously went over every script, every word. And I was just this fresh-faced reporter who didn't have a clue what he was doing. And I'd look at her, see how she was doing that job, and I realized early on that this was how you were supposed to do this job. I had no idea really until then. I learned so much from her. And I attached a whole lot of importance and class to Cindy because she came to Wichita from CNN Headline News. She was a big deal, a national news anchor. And to see her there in our newsroom, I felt like I was really learning from the best.
Cindy, thank you for all your years of service to KWCH 12 and your community. Congratulations on your last sign-off from the anchor desk, and enjoy your retirement.
After more than 25 years, you're finally signing off for the last time at KWCH 12. Thank you for your dedication to broadcast journalism, and congratulations on your retirement.
Cindy, thank you for more than 25 years of dedication to KWCH 12 and your community.
You know, people like to hear about celebrities, and I was impressed by Oprah because she seemed like a regular person. She really did. And she treated her employees with respect. Here she has gazillion dollars and she can do anything she wants, but I appreciated that she treated the people who worked with her with respect. Bob Dole was a lot funnier than I expected. I went to DC and interviewed him as he was contemplating running for president, and I don't think people saw his sense of humor as much as they did when he relaxed and quit running for office and just could be himself. But I never got caught up in celebrity of anybody. I think just telling everyday stories has been pretty important, and then that people would trust you with their story, because it's something to put yourself out on TV when you're just a regular person. We go to people sometimes in their worst times, and to have them trust you to be fair and to tell their story, it's pretty humbling. Even through her illness, she showed up and worked every day. But one thing I admired about Kim was she made work fit her life. You know, she was a reporter, and then she did the noon news, and she produced the noon news, and people don't know what goes into that, but it's a lot of work, and you have to get everything done before you go on the air. And she was doing it before we had computers, which made everything a lot easier. You can change things at the last minute with computers. But when Kim had kids, she said, I just want to work part-time. And, you know, she put her money where her mouth is, and I admire anybody that does that.
Oh, how do you feel? How's the baby?
And the day she came to interview me, the day Jordan was born, was Kim's birthday. So here she's at the hospital doing a story about me having a baby on her birthday. And so I'll always remember Kim's birthday because it's my daughter's birthday too. So think about her a lot, and I still post on her Facebook page. Roger has not changed in all these years, and I used to tell a story about when I first came here. You know, he has such a quick wit, and I was always on guard because I never knew when he was going to say something, and I thought I wouldn't get it, and then I'd look really stupid on the air, and he's still that way because he can do a zinger when you least expect it. And people think of Merrill for the weather, but when I did the 5 o'clock by myself, I would bounce a lot off Merrill when I'm like, if there was a fact I wasn't quite sure of, I knew Merrill was up on the news, and I could always ask him, and he knew the answer. So I relied on him quite a bit. I mean, we rely on all of us, and it was a pretty special team for a long time.
I love watching Cindy do interviews with officials because she doesn't let anything, they try to slip one by her or kind of spin the story at all, and she just jumps right in and really holds them accountable. So I really have loved watching her do these sit-down interviews with Governor Brownback, with any different politician, and really watching her skills in that way. And I really try to learn from her from that, and she's pretty fantastic with that.
What I'll miss most about Cindy is, you know, her presence in the newsroom. It was always, you just knew severe weather or whatever. It was all going to be handled. Everything was going to be cool. And bottom line is, she always took care of business. Her frank, upfront honesty, tell it like it is. And I think that's refreshing in this day and age. And I think it sends a really strong message to the young, you know, professionals we have coming into our newsroom.
She's been in people's homes every single night for a long time. And people have gotten used to that. They feel like they know her because she shared her life with them. And so I think all of us are happy for her and sad at the same time that she's no longer going to be in our homes every night.
Are we gonna miss Cindy? Yeah. Are we gonna miss a beat? No, because of Cindy. Because she taught us how to be great journalists, and we just pick up and move on. And that's really what you can say about the great journalists, is that they've taught. So when they're gone, and you move on.
I fell into journalism just by chance in college, and I really liked it. I never intended to be in front of the camera. I just like the news gathering. I like knowing stuff. I'm just a news nut. I like to know everything. And then I'm pretty good at, I have a gut feeling on when something's a good story and how it makes me feel. And so I think, well, other people are gonna feel the same way. We should do this story. When I got into TV in 1978, there weren't a lot of women doing the news. Definitely no anchors. When people, who were your role models? There were no women. But do you remember Christine Kraft out of Kansas City, who was fired because they said she was too old, too ugly, and not deferential to men? So I came into being a female anchor hearing that. Well, I always wanted to leave before I was asked to leave. And TV's a funny business. You don't know how long people are gonna like you. And just like I said, when I got into it, I thought I'd be done by the age of 30. So I delayed having kids till I was 36 and 38. And then I kept getting my contract extended. I'm like, they still want me, they still want me. But I always wanted to leave on my terms because it's a finicky business. And I was gonna leave a couple of years ago and got convinced to stay a little bit longer. And so this is year 25. And so it just seemed like a good time. And I'm ready. I feel really good about it. I feel really happy. And I have a lot of interest and a lot of things. I can't tell you one thing that I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do a lot of things. I love tennis right now.
You really got into that.
Oh my gosh. I'm on 3 teams right now. A 4th is about to start. I had a road trip yesterday. And so that's gonna help because I'm gonna have interaction with people through the gym. I mean, I've met so many people I never would have met otherwise. I just took one lesson and it just it was challenging, and so I've come to love it, and it's a great way to get exercise. I had a panic attack the other day. I said, I don't have any clothes to wear. I have my gym clothes, and I have my work clothes, but I don't have any casual clothes. What am I gonna wear every day? You know, how am I gonna fix my hair or put on my makeup? I don't know. I only know how to do it full blast. I don't know how to just kind of be. So that'll be a change.
What do you think you'll miss?
The people, of course. You know, the camaraderie of the newsroom. They know me as well as my family because we do share stories about our kids and our vacations and our families. My mother-in-law just died. We share all that stuff. And so I'm gonna miss talking with people. You know, another thing, you asked why now. I think the station's in really good hands. We continue to have journalists that just are really good and really solid. And so I have no qualms about walking away now because I know it's in good hands and everybody will do it like we've always done it. And I'm still a news junkie, so I'll still be watching Channel 12.
One amazing thing is that in 25 years, you and I have never really had an argument.
We never have.
No.
Except when you steal my lines. Not at all. It's been terrific. We have a great team. I mean, it comes down to that. We don't have people with egos. Everybody, when we have something going on, we all pitch in. Just last night with the storms, everybody has a role, and it happens every time there's breaking news.
Well, call in when you want to argue, okay?
And I thought it was just because you guys are on far ends of
the desk.
The
pod.
Yep. Yeah, and you can't even see each other during the day.
Sometimes. No, it's been great, and I can't sum up 25 years. I can't believe it's been 25 years. My husband says, look how old your kids are. It's been 25 years, but it's been great. I'm just so thankful that I fell into a career that I liked, and that's what I tell young people, find something you love, because then it doesn't feel like work. And so I just thank you for letting me come in your homes every night and trusting me, and we have a great team, as I said, and things will continue.
It's been an honor.
Oh, I don't know about that, but thank you.
And as you heard in that show, a lot of people have learned a lot of things from Cindy over the years. She was a great guide for a lot of these young people.
I sounded kind of mean.
Guide. I think it's a great guide.
Oh, is this is my life, Michael Schwanke?
This is it.
I asked for a heads up, and you wouldn't give me.
Removed from the set. So we need you to come with me.
I thought I might be.
We thought we were going to call security to remove her, but we changed our mind.
And I never cussed on the air. Okay. I'm going down these stairs.
Yeah, watch your step.
Okay. Where are we going, Mike?
How are you feeling now?
Good.
Nervous still?
No, the
That was better? Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
We're going to walk right through here.
Okay, Tim. Now they can see how short I really am.
Cindy told me she didn't like being not being in control. So this is.
Are we paying overtime for this? Oh my gosh.
Oh, it gets worse for you.
It gets worse? Can I dance? Oh my gosh. I've always wanted a staff meeting in the evening. I said it was
here you
never.
have it.
It was never fair.
There you go, yeah. You're retired now, it's fine.
I'm retired now? I think I'm on the clock for a little while. Oh my gosh.
That's fantastic.
What did you say about me? Let's go. Fantastic. Oh my gosh. We're going to have some damaged equipment. Watch out. Oh my.
All right, we're going to come on in here. Go to Bob. This is her husband, Bob. Congratulations. And her daughter, Jordan. Bob, 25 years of being by her side through this. What's this day like for you guys?
Well, it's been quite a run, and Cindy's been very nervous about this, and she didn't like all the attention. She just wanted to call in sick on her last day, basically. But it's very nice, and I think it goes to show how much effect she's had on all of her coworkers and all of her fans, and all the people that care about Channel 12 News. So it's been a great run.
Hey, I have to say though, I couldn't have done it without him. So I'm not going to talk about it because then, you'll get your wish and I will cry. But Bob took care of things at home while I worked nights. And my kids, I left home a lot to come into work on breaking news. So.
It's going to be nice having her home at nights.
Are you sure about that? Are you ready for this?
I don't think so.
I may not get to lay around as much.
Now, Bob, we struggled to plan this. Tell us how hard it is to plan a surprise party for a journalist.
Well, you work with her. You know, she does. Nothing gets by her. She notices everything. So trying to surprise Cindy is impossible. So I don't know if she knew this was coming, but even if
I didn't know when. But when you started carrying your cell phone, this is the guy who leaves his cell phone on the kitchen counter. All his friends shaking their heads. He doesn't return text. So I always look and say, Bob, you got a text from somebody. You might want to get back to him. And so he started carrying his phone around. I knew something was
Well,
up.
she cornered me in Bed Bath & Beyond like 3 days ago and was like, what's happening?
So you do it to your family, too,
I do.
not just officials.
Oh, yeah. We get edited, too. And interrupted, just like you do.
I shorten their stories.
Cindy, what's your plan for your first day of retirement
Tomorrow?
and beyond?
I have tennis at 9 and then again at 10. And then a friend's asked me out to lunch because she says, you always rush off from tennis to go get ready for work, so let's do lunch tomorrow. I'm like, one time.
And you guys like to travel?
Yes, but we have a dog, so until she's no longer with us, we'll... So a few more years, because I don't want to kennel her all the time. I mean, your pets are important to you, you know that, so... Anyway, gosh, I want to look around.
Yeah, look around. Bonnie Bing, why don't you step in? I'll let you go with your family here for just a sec. Bonnie, come over here. We got to ask some of the community members.
So scared, aren't you?
Bonnie, watching that special.
I can't believe this is live.
Hard to believe 25.
Seriously, how much time is left?
Well, you got plenty of time yet. 25 years.
25 years. Well, that is a long time.
You know what? You gave me advice about false eyelashes. Do you remember that?
It's the
important glue on there.
That's
Or they
right.
work a little better.
I found new glue. I can't wait to show you.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm here to
I'm
tell
not wearing
you.
it anymore.
Yeah, you're finished. I'll tell you what. She is a person who loves this community, and she and I would be at a lot of things together. And one time I had to shoot a commercial with her for a 501c3, and I was so nervous about being with a real TV person, since I'm not a real TV person, and she screwed up.
And that made you feel a lot better, didn't it?
So happy.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah, I thought you did. She said, "Here I am, the professional," and I thought, "Oh, thank you, thank you."
Nobody's ever accused me of being professional.
So fun.
We actually struggled to find bloopers. You notice most of those bloopers did not, they weren't her bloopers.
That was great. That was great. And congratulations.
Thank
When
you.
you're as old as I am, you'll really appreciate 25 years.
I still read you in the paper,
Good
so I
girl.
appreciate
Real quick, Shelley, come over here. Shelley Hansel.
Well, I think this is proof that I'll do anything to get on television again, right?
Yeah.
No, you know, well, I was here when after that other person left, although, let's say her name. When Sue,
I'm not
when
saying
Sue,
it.
when Sue
Yes.
left, you know, here was
Big
this
shoes to
person.
fill.
Here was this person that came on, you know, and I thought, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this gal. And then she got into the newsroom, and it was like, I'm going to love this gal, because we have so much in common, which I know that's probably kind of scary for you, for me to say that.
I think it's great.
But
I think it's the energy, really.
but no, it's been fun. But I do want to make this offer, and I actually already told her this, but you know, I do have a cable show, Show and Shell, and you can guest host anytime.
What do I have to show?
In Wellington.
No,
and
what? Do I have to show?
No, you don't have to show
Oh, okay.
anything. Maybe some behind the scenes or something. Yeah.
You know how cable is.
You see why we hit it off so well? You see why we hit it off so well? But no, I mean, for those of us who were totally new in the business, I mean, you really were. You were a great teacher, but you were a great friend. And I want you to know that you know, you and I don't see each other like every day, maybe not even once a month or twice a month or even once a year. But when I do get here, I always
At our
feel
kids'
like,
sporting events,
yeah,
we see each other.
I have a best friend, and that's how she is.
We got to give Shelley a wrap. She will talk.
Oh, look, they were going to give me an IFB so they could wrap me.
Listen, we have less than a minute. We figured you may want to say something to the viewers as we say goodbye. I know, you got to say it again.
I'm not crying, that's for sure.
Yeah.
How am I doing?
You're doing well.
No, it's been great. I've been so lucky. I mean, I love what I do. And if you knew the real reason I was quitting, it's because I don't like putting on makeup. And I had a bad hair day. Really? On my last day, we have this humidity.
I think it looks fine.
Graham, I see you back there. But no, you know, I love what I do, but we have a great team, and I'm just a face of a team. So.
Well, I want to speak on behalf, because we have about 15 seconds, of everyone here in our newsroom and all the people who have come through here in your 25 years, that we have learned so much from you. So thank you for everything you've done. Cheers. That is going to wrap it up for the special. Cindy will make a special cameo, though, tonight for Does It Work? Products that she may use in retirement. So join us tonight at 10. Have a great night.